Just want to show you guys a score that I got a pretty good deal. Needed to replace the monitor in the Mortal Kombat 1 machine, and got this K7400 by Wells-Gardner from a fella in Georgia, Suwanee, Georgia, and he fixes up old arcade machines, and he's getting out of the business in Georgia at least, and he's moving back to his wife's state, and he sold me this monitor, box of joysticks, which includes 5 optical 49-way joysticks and several 4-way and 8-way joysticks, and there is a complete Gauntlet Legends board set, and it has the hard drive, the video card, and the ROMs for Gauntlet Dark Legacy. It's all mounted with the fans and everything on the metal board that goes into the arcade machine, and it works. He showed me it works. He fired the monitor up. It works great. It's in great condition, and have a marquee to fit a standard arcade machine that has Gauntlet Dark Legacy on it, and some books for the monitor, and I think there's a book for maybe the Gauntlet board set, and also have extra video card for the Gauntlet Legends or Gauntlet Dark Legacy, same board set, and extra hard drive, and it's for the Gauntlet Dark Legacy, and this is supposed to work too. Got the whole shebang for $200, and you can't get a better deal than that. Usually a monitor like that's going to go for $200 and something even used. Like this one, I think it's been completely rebuilt and recapped, because he was a technician, and he said he rebuilds these monitors for people in the Atlanta area, and I guess he's not going to be doing that much anymore, but I'm eager to get this stuff in, and got to do a little bit of dusting to the Gauntlet Legends board set and maybe a few of these joysticks, and I think the extra video card is a little bit dusty, but probably the worst thing is the extra video card. This right here is really not that bad. It's really not too bad, but for $200, just want to show you guys the score, and maybe after I clean it all up some, and especially after I get the new monitor in the Mortal Kombat 1, we'll get it fired up and show you what that looks like. Well, got all the stuff inside, and got the monitor in. These suckers are pretty heavy. I have to come up a pretty big hill and up some steps and around the house to get it in, but got it in. Looks like it's in really good shape, and it's very clean, by the way. Some of this stuff is a little bit dusty, but monitor's very clean, and the tube type is A63 AGD01X, exact same type that I just bought from a local operator about an hour away in Spartanburg, and unfortunately he told me that it worked very well. He said it had good color, had no screen burn, and I paid $80 just for a tube from him, and he acted like, oh, I just threw out about 10, and I tell you what, that tube was in worse condition than the one that I was trying to replace, which is right there. If I can get over this stuff. This is the tube that was originally in my Mortal Kombat 1 when I bought it, and I don't blame the person who sold it to me originally. They said that, you know, it looked pretty good, but it was just too dim, and I tried to do a rejuvenation, and it worked on 2 of the guns. It worked on the green and the red, but the blue gun is just too far gone in this tube, and even though it's got good focus and everything, once those 2 guns were rejuvenated, the blue was so weak, everything just has a yellowish green tint to it. So I went and bought that tube from that local operator about an hour away in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and I took my chassis out of this frame and put it with the other tube, and the tube swap was pretty easy. It still had a yoke on it and all, and you know, like I said, it's worse than this tube. He told me it had no screen burn, and it does have screen burn. It has the word credits burned into the other one that's in the Mortal Kombat cabinet right now, and Also, all 3 guns are so bad on that other tube that I can't even set my rejuvenator up to do any tests hardly or anything. The meters read nothing on all 3 guns, and you know, it's just, that tube's just shot. And I've contacted the guy and, you know, tried to get him to swap me another tube, and he acted like he would, but I can't ever get him to return my phone calls to set up a time now. I think he just pawned off a bad tube on me and got 80 bucks out of me just for the tube. And I feel like I kind of got suckered, but I won't mention the name of the place that he runs. But you know, I hope you don't do everybody that way. And it doesn't look like I'm going to get a replacement for that other tube. But anyway, back to the other stuff. Got the Gauntlet Dark Legacy board set, which is, you know, the same as a Gauntlet Legends. And he's still got a price on there of 50 bucks. He actually gave it to me for 45. And you know, it's just a little bit dusty. I need to go out and dust it off and use my air compressor, you know, and clean it up a little bit. But it's got the video card and both of the other circuit boards that go with it. And it's already got the Gauntlet Dark Legacy ROM chips in there. And what was a surprise, I found out just a minute ago, the hard drive he has here is, it looks like one either somebody made or they've been writing on. Maybe they were doing some testing. It's not the prettiest looking hard drive, but he said he had an extra hard drive he'd give me with it, an extra video card. And that's right here. The video card's pretty dusty. I've got to go dust this off the heat sinks anyway. But it looks like it's in good shape. Extra video card, extra hard drive. This hard drive looks immaculate though. And it's got the Atari Games label. And it even says Dark Legacy Disc version 2.4 on it. And it is one of the original hard drives. So I'm probably going to swap it out as long as it works fine. I'd rather have it on there than that one since it doesn't look as good. But when I was unwrapping the hard drive, he didn't tell me this, but inside the packaging is an extra set of ROM chips for the Gauntlet Dark Legacy. And if you can see, it's got the stickers on there that it says Gauntlet DL, let's see, 27 inch I think. I know you can't read it. But still got the sticker on there on that one chip. The other chip doesn't have a sticker on it, but I didn't even know that was in there. But another set of chips. And like I said, I got all this stuff that I just showed you, including this box of joysticks. And that includes 5 optical 49-way joysticks that will work with Gauntlet Legends or Gauntlet Dark Legacy. And I'm even starting to see other things down in there. That looks like some test switches for a game. And some extra buttons and stuff are in there. I see some buttons, some micro switches. He just threw a bunch of stuff in there. Every bit of this stuff was $200 total with the monitor and the board set. So I didn't get hurt on this, and he has shown me he has fired up the monitor and the board set, and it all works. I know that. These other parts, he said they work. I have no reason not to believe him because the other stuff works. Just got to do some testing to it myself and make sure. But pretty good deal, and just really wanted the monitor. Probably would have paid 200 bucks just for the monitor. And it's got a great image. Can't wait to get it in the Mortal Kombat 1. In a little while, maybe I'll do some cleaning on some of this stuff and show some of this stuff hooked up later. Definitely going to show the monitor running in the Mortal Kombat 1 soon. Okay, I forgot to mention also, here's a Gauntlet Dark Legacy marquee that he gave me with all this stuff. And I'm not sure, that feels like glass, but I think it's thick plexiglass. I'll have to take a closer look. But Gauntlet Dark Legacy, and this has been installed in a machine before. You can see that it's got a little, it might be hard to see, yeah, you can see it, a little discoloration there where it's been installed in a machine before, but looks really great on the front. My Mortal Kombat 2 is the same way on the back. It's just where the lights come through over a period of years probably. And unused sticker here talking about the epileptic seizures and, you know, watch your children, you know, certain lights or patterns might cause seizures and stuff. And that's unused. I guess that came with the kit. And I don't know if you can see real closely, but this is so you can make your own control panel. Shows the layout for the buttons and the joysticks and everything for Gauntlet Legends or Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Has a little legend there showing the size of the holes that you need to drill and everything. So if you want to make your own control panel, you can use this template. And little registration card or information card for a game when you get a new game. New game information card. You can fill out your serial number, date purchased, and distributor, company name, all kind of stuff. Send it back to them, I guess, you know, for warranty registration or something. And Gauntlet Dark Legacy Universal Conversion Kit Manual. So basically I have a whole Dark Legacy kit here. And Wells-Gardner. It's not for this exact monitor. Actually, he told me this is a K7400. This is for a K7500 series. But he said they're very similar, and so this is a parts list and a schematic. So you could probably use this on the 7400 for most things. Probably a little bit of differences. A little diagram on the back for the neck board and the chassis. But all that stuff was included also with this, you know, so it's pretty neat. Whole Gauntlet Dark Legacy conversion kit pretty much with a marquee and everything, and extra video card. Now, I mean, those things, I see them sell on eBay for at least $50, sometimes more than that, I think, if they have the marquee and everything like that with them. But just the chips and the hard drive and all, and probably the booklet would go for $50 on eBay. But just wanted to show you that stuff because I left that out, and the box joysticks, I can't remember if I included that or not. One, two, three, four, five, ready, the answer, ready, and was right, please, I'm going to that, you see, and there, wait, to say, it's been, it's my way on, but, what is here? I for that way, was, there's the floor, and then for game report, so it's my way on, that will okay. I did not want to fish there, making several sharp weeks, my muscles, my fish, let's see why I, G, see. That's cool, just here. Hey, I'll go ahead and cut the video off now, but that's pretty much the gist of all of it. Plenty of joysticks though, so. Just wanted to show you guys while I was cleaning up this Gauntlet Dark Legacy board set, or Gauntlet Legends board set. It works with both, of course. I noticed there was a piece of string under one of the bolts, under the corner, when I was taking it off of this mounting plate here. And I was like, what is that piece of string doing there? And I found a service tag underneath the board that was still tied to one corner. And it's just talking about some customer, either their last name is Birmingham, or maybe they were a vending company in Birmingham, or maybe went by the name Birmingham Vending or something. And it's just talking about number of pieces, 1 of 2 it looks like, and it says Gauntlet CPU board. And this was serviced by HAP. Let me rotate this around where you can see. Right there it says service, and it's got a number, HAP controls, warranty void if removed. And every one of these boards in this 3 circuit board chain here has that same type of tag on it. Like here's the video card, and it's got a tag like that. And I've already cleaned that one. It's upside down, but that board has the tag. So this whole board set has been serviced at one time. The only thing I could see so far, I haven't looked really close, but on this board where the JAMMA connector connects, there is a slight burn mark there on 2 of the contacts, and they're still intact. They don't look that bad. They just look like a very slight burn mark. I think it might even clean off, and the rest of it looks fine. And on the back side, looks pretty good. There's a slight dark mark there. I don't know if that's dirt or just a burn mark. I'll find out and wipe it in a little bit, maybe clean it off a little bit. But maybe it was serviced for something minor. Well, I got all these things cleaned up. This is the Gauntlet Dark Legacy board set. Got it completely cleaned up. It wasn't really that dusty. Video card and the fans were kind of dusty, but got all that cleaned up pretty well. These old metal plates that these systems mount to, they always look kind of rough, but to be honest, you just can't clean them up. Maybe if you took something like steel wool or some special metal cleaner or something, you could, but they just tarnish a little bit and kind of look like that after a few years. But everything else cleaned up pretty good. I found out this drive here, it is not the original drive that would have come with a Gauntlet Legends or a Gauntlet Dark Legacy. It's been written over to hold the image for Gauntlet Dark Legacy, but it actually has a part number on there. It's actually a Dell spare, so it came out of a Dell computer, and it's like a 4.3 gigabyte hard drive out of a desktop system. But they work fine. That's basically all these drives are, and it's the same name brand. It's a Quantum. I think the original might have been a 4.3 gigabyte. I have to look at the other ones. They're either 4 point something or 6 point something gigabyte. But anything that much or larger capacity will work on putting these images on if you know how to do it properly. And cleaned all the boards up. Got the video card cleaned up, and both of the other boards all cleaned up nicely. The only thing I was able to find, like I told you, there were just some from HAP Controls there. You can see there was some service stickers on every one of these boards. The only thing I could find, any ways that you would think was wrong, was right here on the JAMMA connector. There's a couple of lifted traces there, right there where the JAMMA connector plugs onto, and they're just barely lifted. It looks like it got overheated. I'll have to look at the JAMMA pinout and see if that's where power comes in. It probably is. Seems like that's around where 12 volt or 5 volt power or something comes in, if I remember correctly. And maybe a power supply burnt out in the system, and when it did, it kind of got hot on those traces. But on the underside, they're not lifted at all. They're just a little dark looking, and they're still intact, and they still work because, like I said, I've seen the system working. But all this has been cleaned up. I got sorted through that parts box that had all the joysticks, and this is pretty much what we came out with. Lots of parts. But over here we've got 5 49-way optical joysticks that work in Gauntlet Legends cabs. Those 4 in the back, they're straight out of, I believe, a Gauntlet Legends or a Gauntlet Dark Legacy cabinet. Dust washers still need to be cleaned a little bit, but I've blown the joysticks out and they were already pretty clean. Dust washers are just a little dirty. And this one is the same type of joystick, but if you look on the shaft, it's got that bit of taper, and these others don't have that. They're smooth, and I think that's because this is probably from one of those NFL Blitz games. If you look up on the Gauntlet Legends, they have the smooth shaft, all of those, and I actually have a couple of, if I can see over here, some parts here. I've got a couple more that have that type of shaft to them that I bought for spares a while back, and that's the only difference. It's just got a strange taper right there. Kind of makes them ugly, but I don't know what that's for. I don't know if there's another piece that's supposed to connect to that. I'll have to look it up, but the mechanics underneath it and the functionality is exactly the same. Same circuit board and connectors and everything like that. But I got to test all 5 of these and make sure they do work like he said, and I'll just, hook them up one at a time in the Gauntlet Legends there, plug them in, and play a character for a while, make sure they work. And then we got 5 other complete joysticks in the back. Got that one right there. I think that's trying to think. Seems like it's a HAP Super, I believe. And these other 4, I don't think they're HAP. I was looking at the bases on them and all, and the shape of the plastic, the way the mold is and everything. I don't think they're by HAP. I'm not sure. But from the pictures I've seen and all, I know they're not competition. All these bases right here that the guy gave me, those bases are HAP competition joystick bases. You can tell by the round plastic at the bottom of the base, and just the way everything, the bolt holes are, and the molding, the way it's all molded. All of those, there's 6 of them, they're from Hap Competition joysticks, and I've got a couple of shafts there. I believe it will fit those. And then there's one old style ball top shaft. And then these right here, I think they're Hap Supers, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it's Ultimate. Yeah, that's what it is. They're not Supers, they're Ultimate. These are Ultimate, and you can tell by, well, there's like a little place right there. It looks like a screw's supposed to go or something, and it's at all four corners. And that is the only thing I could tell that would let me know that this is an Ultimate, because the Ultimates are molded like that, the bases are. So those four there are from Ultimates, I'm pretty sure. And that's the same way this base is here. You see that little piece that juts out right there? I don't know what it's for, but it's got like a hole in it, like it's made for a special type of mounting. And someone had soldered wires onto this, and we're probably working on some type of project. But the joystick itself feels good. It feels like it's almost new, really. And like I said, got a couple of blue joysticks, a couple of reds. Those could be used in a main project or something. And whatever shafts those can be compatible with, whether it's the Ultimates there or the competition, I'll have to check them out. I'll have two more joysticks there and some extra bases and all. And here, I was wondering what this was from. I thought it might have been from a Mortal Kombat, and I checked it out, and it's exactly the same switch setup for Gauntlet Legends or Gauntlet Dark Legacy, just like in my cab here. And it must have been taken out of a cab or something when one was partied out. And it looks like it's in great shape. There's a little bit of blue overspray. Probably hard to tell here, but it's on like, that's supposed to be a white connector. And he must have been spray painting something and got a little blue overspray on it, but besides that, it's just about like new. And that can be used with a Gauntlet Legend game, or probably any other type of game, as long as you could figure out the pin out and hook it up to those switches for service and volume up and down and test mode and stuff like that. Got an entire bag of micro switches. These are all cherry. I don't think I've seen any in there that weren't cherry, and most of them function really well. It looked like a few of them are dirty, and I didn't bother cleaning them individually. I figured if I needed extra switches down the road or any fail, that I would just, clean them up, pop them in a joystick or a switch, a button, and use them if I needed any extra later on. There were some other things like some screws and some spacers for joystick shafts, and some of those little, not snap rings, but I think they call them lock rings maybe, and actuators for joysticks, and a ton of button nuts. I don't know why he had so many, but he must have threw away a lot of bad buttons and kept the button nuts. A couple of buttons, a couple of metal brackets. I don't know what they came off of. I'm pretty sure it's an arcade machine. If anybody knows, if that looks familiar to anybody. They look like they're only about 6.5, 7 inches long, something like that. There's two of them. Doesn't look anything like off of my Mortal Kombat's or anything. A couple of wire clips and a wire tie, and an old AC fan. That's a pretty good heavy-duty metal fan there. It's made for cooling probably a CPU board in a machine, and real heavy. You can tell it's got a little age on it. It's got just a little bit of dirt and rust on it, but I blew it out, and it's probably still in working condition, or he probably wouldn't have kept it. And then we've got, that's the Gauntlet Dark Legacy kit that I had. It's got the marquee. There's a hard drive in that packaging under there. It looks pristine, and it's labeled correctly. It is from the factory. I'm probably going to hang on to that to switch in and out of my Gauntlet Legends cab, and an extra video card. And this is practically identical to the video card in mine. It has the heat sinks. The other one on this board set here, see if I can get turned around here. The other one on this board set, the main 3DFX chips, don't have heat sinks on them. That's those large square chips there. And if you look at these, they do have heat sinks, and that's the way mine is in my cab. But this card, it was a little dusty. I thought it was the dirtiest thing out of all this, and I hit it like one time with a blast of air. Every bit of that dust came right off, and this card looks absolutely brand new. I mean, I don't know what it looks like on the video, but it just is pristine. Both sides. It was like a brand new card. But that'll be good to have for backup. And like in one of my old videos, That card right back there was an old Voodoo that come out of a computer, and one of my earlier videos showed that it's a Voodoo 2, and if it has at least 10 megabytes it does work in these cabinets. That's one that I tested in another video. But at the very end of all that, then of course I told you it was like a warranty card here, Gauntlet Dark Legacy manual, Wells-Gardner K7500 series monitor book, and template for making your own control panel for Gauntlet Legends or Gauntlet Dark Legacy. I wanted to show you all that. Just a couple of hoodoo wires there. It looks like it might be a wire from a degaussing coil on a monitor, and just some various crimp wires there that were on some joysticks and stuff, just some extras he had. But that was all that I got that came with the monitor that I'm going to put in the cabinet, the Mortal Kombat cabinet right here. I'm going to take this sucker out. This is the crappy tube I got from that local operator, and it's not worth a darn. Chassis on it is still in great condition. It's a K7100, I believe, 7100 series, and I've recapped it and everything, and I think the chassis is in excellent condition. I just don't have a good tube to put with it. I may try to, put these on the rejuvenator and turn out the voltages for, I think it's G2 and the heater, and just really try to cook this tube and the other tube and see if I can get any better performance out of it so I can have a good monitor to go with that chassis. But if not, this tube and the other one in the living room in there is going to get tossed in the garbage, and I'll have one good backup chassis if I don't sell it on eBay. But most likely, even though I don't want to because I got a good deal, but most likely I'm going to sell this whole Gauntlet Dark Legacy setup here on eBay or something. And from what I know, it works good. I'm going to hook it up in my cabinet, run it off and on for a while, make sure it's running good before I tell anybody that it's a good set to sell, and see what I can get back out of it to help replace some of the money I spent on all this. But I got a good deal on all of it. Like I said, every bit of this, all these parts, Gauntlet Dark Legacy set and all, and the little booklets and all, and the K7400 monitor that's supposed to be in great shape, and it looks like it is from what I've seen running, all for $200. So I'm going to get off here now and try to switch out that monitor and see if I can get my Mortal Kombat 1 to come back alive.